Let me start by saying that I'm a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. I grew up watching it as it was airing on TV. I rewatched the series multiple times. I used to write fanfic. I used to create video edits and receive death threats from Katang fans because they hated Zatara. I was immersed in this fandom, and I think it's one of the best children's TV shows ever made. It inspired my own fantasy books. But this was so bad. Other than a few Sokka jokes, this movie did not evoke a single emotion in me. And I adore these characters in this world. First of all, I have no beef with the animators. This production was beautiful, it was vibrant, the animation was stunning. If you're a fan of Arcane's cinematic fighting styles, you'll really enjoy that aspect of the film. I also think a lot of the voice actors, most of them, did very well, despite my initial disappointment that the creators chose not to use the original voice actors who are now adults. As an author, this is where my praise ends, because the writing was hot garbage. I have not seen a worse case of telling versus showing in ages. The original show had more faith in its child audience and didn't insult us by spelling everything out over and over and over again like we're imbeciles. And the creators knew that their audience for this movie would be older fans who've grown up with the show, people who have intimate knowledge of this world. So why did they pile on the exposition? Why was every emotion and thought voiced aloud, even when no other characters were present? Let the expressions work for you. Why did characters announce what was happening to people's powers when we could visually see what was happening to people's powers? Secondly, the writers recycled an excessive amount of material from the original show. Old jokes, famous side characters, callback after callback. Even the mannerisms felt stolen instead of inspired. Why wouldn't they show us how these characters and their sense of humor and dynamics have matured and evolved over time? Even the life lessons were repetitive. I understand that this was Aang's story, but the gang, their banter was stale and disconnected, and they kept telling us they were a family, but I didn't see it, I didn't experience it. Other than Aang and Katara, not a single coupling of the gang shared a meaningful conversation or a heartfelt moment. And I'm not even going to touch on what these men have done to Katara and Toph's characters, because that's a whole nother video. As for the plot, I saw someone on Reddit say that this feels like a Power Rangers episode drawn out over an hour, and I couldn't agree more. They played it way too safe, and the plot was painfully predictable because we know what Aang is going to do here. Also, why was the immediate threat gravity the whole movie? Falling mountains, falling ships, falling temples. Can we be a little bit more creative with our conflicts? In this movie, death is cheap, so the stakes are cheap. And then everything wraps up nice and neat and clean and kind of abruptly, and I was left feeling nothing